And welcome back to the WGL EU Season 4 Match Week 10, and we are into the final game of the day. And we've already had a brilliant play day so far, but let's bring it back down to eSuba against Lucky Kuraki. Now, it's not a battle for the top or even really to secure a spot towards the offline finals, but more to make sure you're not at the bottom here. Maybe a little bit more for pride than anything, because there's got to be a lot of factors to get either of these teams up into the position where they could actually get towards, the offline finals and these sort of aspects. So if we don't go on that sort of terminology, is this more just a kind of game to get off that bottom step?
eSuba for sure. They don't want to be right at the bottom because obviously 11th and 12th, they get automatically relegated and replaced by 1st and 2nd from the Silver Series, of course. But Lucky Kuraki, they're sitting on 10 points and pretty much the same position Denial were in the first matchup. And they can possibly qualify if C play and TCM lose their next two matches. But as I said before, they don't have particularly hard games, so that's quite unlikely. But if they do win this one and the next one, sitting on like 56% win ratio right now, they could possibly qualify, but again, very, very, very slim chance.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one. It would be a very, there'd be so many external factors would have to come into play to keep in mind, but it's not the main focus of this game. But regardless of that, I think for the community's sake, who's got the better odds in this one? I feel performance alone, though, Lucky Kuraki doing well, but eSuba has picked it up a little bit here.
They've been okay towards the kind of end of the season. Voodoo's has just been in and out too much. It's not the same as eSuba we saw against Spale, when they actually managed to win their place in Season 4, but Lucky Kuraki definitely the stronger team.
I agree with that one. And Melly, how are the people at home, if they do want to get their votes for on this game, how can they do so?
It's really easy. Head over to facebook.com/WGLEU and like our page, and actually we can do that together since we have the might of, well, you look for the wargaming.net. If we have a look on my computer, I can actually show you. It's really easy. Just head over to our Facebook page. It looks like this, and you see this little button here. It says poll. Click on it, and if you haven't liked the page already, you have to like it first, and then you'll get forwarded to this page, and it allows you to vote for your favorite team, and then predict the exact scoreline of this matchup, and then to submit your prediction. And that's how you get involved in our competition, in our little challenge before every matchup, and can actually win one of 3 bonus codes. So head over to facebook.com/WGLEU and try it yourself. It's really easy, and I'm waiting for your votes. I'm waiting for your predictions, and well, you guys at home are almost right every time, but still, we love giving out bonus codes. We love giving out premium tanks. We love giving out gold. So get involved and grab your share, of course. And the next thing is to get involved via Twitter. Just head over to twitter.com/WGLEU. Follow us to get live updates during the matches, and of course to hand in your predictions over Twitter as well by using the hashtag WGLEU. And if you want, you can hand in questions to our experts. They love answering your questions. So head over to Twitter and tweet me. I will poke them and ask them.
Yeah. Guys at home, do get involved. We do love hearing from you here in the studio, whether it be your predictions, your votes, or just questions. Whatever you want to say, do make sure you do so. And now let's get our attention focused on the players we're about to be watching, because there's a lot of talented people in this game, but we always know that talent doesn't always equate to a win, but it certainly helps out in that factor. So let's have a look at the lineups between these two. Lucky Kuraki up against eSuba, and I have to point out something here. McMoney currently on 49 kills, heads and shoulders above everyone else in this league so far. Actually, top fragger from the entire league. Wonder if he can break the 50 mark tonight, but still. Talented players in Lucky Kuraki. Who can stop them from eSuba?
I think KKT, Gambo, Mirage, Stanley have been okay this season. I think for eSuba, it's not really a skill problem. It's more of just a tactical decision making. They've been way too fast. They've kind of tried what Virtus Pro have done in the last matchup. It's just been very quick and very reactive, and just have that tactic that catches the other team out by surprise. But they don't have that real skill, and they don't really have the fight coordination. I think they have maybe the skill more than the fight coordination, so they just haven't managed to pull that one off. And Lucky Kuraki, they of course got Mac Money, who's 3rd, but then again, you have to scroll down quite far until you find that second player, Bishu, who's in 12th. So, one good player doesn't do so much, and you saw in Casa Crew, you can't always rely on that one player to be brilliant when you're facing against a team who's got a lot more good players in general than you.
It's a very good point, actually, and you do need to keep that in mind. Obviously, one individual will not win you the game. It can make a big difference, but we've seen that several teams over. Obviously, Kazna being the last example we saw quite recently. But then you look at New Multishow, a talented player who can occasionally do something phenomenal, but that does not always secure you the wins you need. You need every single player to be on that level. And it's quite surprising. If you do look at the Hall of Fame, obviously, on the WGLEU.com site, head on over there now. It will redirect you to the actual portal. You'll see the Virtus Pro don't really have that player up in the top 10 even, because every single player shares out the damage. They all receive it, they all, do all the same kind of jobs, and they all pull it off perfectly. So that's exactly what, can really bring you these victories rather than the one man who can stand out. However, Money doing almost 50 kills in one season is quite impressive. Got to keep that one in mind. But still, I think we are ready to start looking towards that first map. It's going to be steps. Any surprises on the tank lineups?
Not really. We got a couple of IS3 from Lucky Kuraki, so probably looking to be a little slower this one. 5100s as well, so a slow lineup from Lucky Kuraki, more normal for eSuba though.
Well, let's find out how that goes, because the teams are ready. Let's get rolling towards the first map, Steps. And welcome into that first map. As promised, it will be Steps, and in the north, in blue, it will be eSuba. In the south, in red, it's going to be Lucky Kuraki. Is Mirage moving?
Mirage is not moving, unless that is literally a Mirage. I think he might have dropped, but the 30 seconds is where you can cut it off. If you don't call it in the 30 seconds, which you have between the countdown of the map and the actual map starting, then you can't really do anything about it. So we'll have to play this one out without Mirage, and that will give Lucky Kuraki a fairly sizable advantage going into the first map, Steps, of course. We'll have to see how really that one goes around, because they won't know, at least for the first few seconds, that he's actually out of the game. Los Coscos does receive the first shell, and Lucky Kuraki with that high damage, high power kind of lineup with the 5100, like they used previously against Dream Leprechauns, could spell disaster for eSuba.
Yeah, and did we see them going for a cap off the back of this with that very heavy lineup? I feel it was very hard to deal with, and you can see Kelly and Bishu going to a quite similar position than what we saw prior to now. The working their way through the trenches, using those heavy tanks, now up in that IS-3. And this did work out quite nicely before. I'm trying to think out who got caught out in those hills up in the backside there from the last matchup. I'm not sure who it was. It was against Lucky Kuraki, and it did change the entire game. He got tracked and held just as he tried to cross back over, gifting the first kill over to Lucky Kuraki. However, this time they have got the first shell, at least towards Los Coscos, replied towards Matt. Fairly even damage caused. Obviously, it'll look a little bit more when it's against 1390, but there we go. Mirage is with us, so maybe just, taking his time, chilling out a little bit. Finally decides to come back in and see what he can do here. So full lineup is with eSuba, so no easy games here, but it kind of gives us a reason as to why they were quite slow off the start, maybe.
Mirage also heading straight in towards the middle. One of the key players for eSuba, so as I said, could have been disastrous if he wouldn't have managed just to connect in. And he had like 15 seconds left until the cut-off point, and well, thanks to 2 minutes. If you haven't connected in those 2 minutes, then it's game over, and you can't connect back into the battle. You just go straight back to the garage, to the lobby. So just lucky stuff from eSuba altogether, and lucky as well that Lucky Kuraki didn't push forwards too quickly and use those heavy damage dealing tanks to take down Los Coscos. And now Mirage back in the game, they can go forward. CNNK is obviously in a good position to deal with him, but Mirage and eSuba looking like they can provide some interesting sights for Lucky Kuraki. But with such a heavy lineup, the question is, with the 50 MX-3090 and the T69s, can eSuba really do as much damage as they need to take down Lucky Kuraki?
Well, it's a big question here, and see if it does come off into effect. But at the moment, it looks like Bishu and Kelly are happy taking their time there. Definitely not rushing this one. We've got Money and Matt PL just behind them as well. So it was a slow approach last time from Lucky Kuraki, and I did doubt whether or not we're going to actually see a push for the victory on this one. But they did eventually go for it once they got that first kill down, and they went for that cap. And they might do the same again if they can find that first important kill. Los Coscos is fairly out on a limb. He could be caught out here, but he does get a great shot towards Bishu. And that's going to give a little bit more of an advantage, at least maybe evening the odds towards eSuba and Lucky Kuraki.
Mirage being quite exploratory. MX3090 showing why he's really the playmaker for eSuba. Going forwards, Shock's to his left, he's already been spotted, and to his right is CNNK. But he hasn't been spotted, Mirage, so he's doing pretty well. But the question is, what can they really do with this situation? Burger, Stanley, Los Coscos have to basically be in a place where they can snipe down the Lucky Kuraki players who might want to focus onto Mirage if he's spotted, because him just being here is not really that much use unless he gets just a couple of pot shots out. So it's more like he's testing the waters, seeing if there's anything he can possibly go on towards. There isn't just rotating back around, which he's doing right now, and come from a different angle. But eSuba are not happy to go in. They know Lucky Kuraki how dangerous they are with the firepower they have. And with 5 minutes and 45 seconds, it's quite a contrast compared to the game we had previously. Everything's slowed right back down again. Fluky, KKT, Gambo are looking like they want to go right. Mirage is still in the middle, heading back up again. So the play definitely going to come out from eSuba first.
We'll see if they go for it here, because slowly but surely Bishu and Kelly are looking like they want to edge around on the east side, but they're receiving fire from Berge, Los Coscos, and occasionally Stanley, so they can't really just breach completely on their own. They need to find that way through, or at least a player in the right place at the right time and make it count, because at the moment they don't really have that position to make it count. Shock last time was doing a great job in the IS-3 getting the damage across. This time not really seeing too many of the opponents, mostly keeping eyes on the west side there if they do decide to push up. But aside from that, Lucky Kuraki not looking too aggressive. Obviously with those hefty lineups they can't really depend on speed as a big factor. But I'm curious to see if they can actually make anything count. Mirage has been spotted out there, and Shock a little slow to turn in that turret. Doesn't even go for the shot, just maybe looking out for KKT, Gambo and Fluky.
And 2MX3090s clearly wanted to take down Shock as he was sitting there on his own, but how can you really provide so much firepower into an IS-3 with a 2MX3090? You have to commit 100%, get around the side, get around the back. The front actually is the weakest point on the IS-3, apart from the back, of course. The side still have got a little bit of spaced armor like the IS-7, so they can do quite a bit of damage. But Mirage found himself a good place. Fluky trying to hit a couple of shells, but I think that would be the play from eSuba. They need to come from the. They need to get Los Coscos, Berge, and Stanley just to push in towards the front and use the 2MX1390s around the back to engage onto Shock.
Money's going a little further forward here in that 1390. He has got the speed and the versatility to do so. Really only Los Coscos in this position to maybe stop that, and it's more Mirage just testing out the water. I think he feels fairly safe here. He'll allow the rest of his tanks maybe to push up on that east flank. Bishu and Kelly are doing so. And they can just slowly move up the map if they feel like it. They know there's players back. Shock has taken down that tier 1 towards the southwest side of this map, as Los Coscos still looking for maybe an angle on towards McMoney, but you got to be careful. There's a reason he's in the top 10 here, but he's not showing it now. Big bit of fire from the backside though, as Bishu will claim Los Coscos, and there's the first kill, importantly going over towards Lucky Kuraki.
Mirage and Fluky going to try and mitigate that with a push onto Shock.
Let's see if Shock can deal with it. He is out on his own. He's in that IS-3. It's not exactly the most versatile tank. He's being picked to pieces by the hyena squad of those 1390s. That turret can barely keep up with him. There we go. Fluky takes him down. And good play coming out from eSuba to even that score.
And really the rest of the tanks didn't take any damage, so perfect play. Shock going down is definitely a bigger of a blow for Lucky Kuraki than it is Los Coscos going down for eSuba, because the IS-3 has more HP, more firepower, and eSuba still has 2MX3090 to play around with, so they haven't really lost that probing ability and just the fast going in, going out. But you could see 2MX3090 still took a lot of time to take down the IS-3, and still one remains, Matt PL for Lucky Kuraki. So it's going to be hard for them to push in, but MacMoney, Matt PL, Kelly, Bishu all have received a shell. Not a lot of damage, but enough that give them a little bit more breathing room when it comes to firepower. That's for eSuba.
But let's bear in mind, Lucky Kuraki do like going for the cap here. Still 2 minutes and 27 seconds. They're getting good work towards Mirage. Good fire comes across. Oh, even a following shell there from the south side coming out. So that's going to hurt. And it looks like we are seeing that push in slowly coming into effect. Kelly does get a little bit pushed out of position there. More fire comes in. He's trying to get himself into a better spot now. Bishu's already made it through. This could be dangerous play from Lucky Kuraki if they keep this one up. Bishu and Kelly continuously moving forward, looking for the next targets to focus down on. Not really aware of where their opponents are yet. They're going to have to keep pushing through and trying to find that little bit of a pixel out of place.
Stanley's found a great position here. I'm not sure if he'll have quite the gun depression. I think he will. Yeah, he will. Plenty of gun depression to deal with, but MacMoney from the side. Berge will have to try and deal with him. He has got the better gun, but he has maybe not enough damage.
Well, McMoney finally lands a shell. One comes in from the side. Bearing in mind Fluky can land a couple of shots, and McMoney just going 1v1. This is a mistake, McMoney. What on earth are you doing? And Birgit will get away with 658 HP, but McMoney down to nothing. And hell, Fluky's coming in to help him out. So a 2v1 situation, overmatch comes into effect. Birgit gets one from the side. Missed shot from Fluky. McMoney might get the kill. Oh, perfectly done. And now he just needs to be a little careful from Fluky, but very well played to give the favor maybe back to Lucky Kuraki here.
Fluky should have got in more aggressive, just guarantee a kill onto McMoney. That was a mistake, and Stenley's going to have to try and make up for it.
Yeah, but Matt PL coming around to a great spot here in his IS-3. Might be able to work on towards Stenley, leaving the rest of their side to push in towards that cap. We saw it before. We're going to see it again. Kelly and Kuraki in here. Kelly gets one, though. And Matt PL needs to get this damage done pretty damn fast because Stenley and Fluky are out looking for a way to stop this.
Ooh, Matt PL also missing. Fluky just needs to reload and go on for the pressure there. Mirage heading back to the base. Might want to try and stop this one, and that's where Lucky Kuraki need to be careful because the firepower is in favor for eSuba, but the time is in favor for them.
Look at the HP pool as well here for Lucky Kuraki. These tanks are damn low, moving in unison, trying to make sure Kurak is covered off. Matt PL comes around, Shell comes in, Reset goes down, but not by much. Kelly still alive. Matt in that slow IS-3 rolling in. Kelly takes another very low damage roll. 14 seconds left. Can anyone reset this at the moment? 12 seconds, 11. Keep your eyes on that timer. Finally, the Shell comes in. Stanley takes down McMoney. That time is far too great. Fluky finds him as well, and this is looking pretty damn bad now for Lucky Kuraki.
Mirage also going to find Crack with that second try, takes him down, and really Fluky is just going to be able to make an easy work of Matt PL, but it's going to be a draw as Matt PL was still alive at the end of the game.
Yep.
But Suba looked like the stronger team. Mirage, Fluky, Stenley, Slavista still alive, and Matt PL on low HP, and CNK in a tier 1 left for Lucky Kuraki, the Polish team.
Lacking a little bit of the execution there, I feel, for Lucky Kuraki. The plan was still in place. They played out quite similarly to the last game there, but just didn't really have the potency they did before. Obviously, if let's have a little look back on McMoney's move there, because he made a good move.
Yeah.
The 1v2 was brave, but he had support from the south coming in. I questioned the 1v1 choice up against Birgit, but you can see him now going in for this.
Yeah, Birgit, he shoots one shell, misses that. He should definitely have hit it. Second shell does connect. I think he only has one more before he has to try and get back. No, he has four shells. He hits 3 of them. One more would have been enough to take down McMoney. Then McMoney does a great job. He goes forwards, and Birgit takes a lot of trouble from the side from the tanks that are quite far up. And Fluky, him being there, not good. He should have been aggressive towards the left side, so he's still safe from the right. So McMoney lives for a lot longer than he should have done.
Yeah, I love that play from McMoney. He's a smart player to find these kills, knowing when he's in the right position or he has the ability to go ahead and actually get it done. So, well played to him in that situation. Overall, however, being a draw, it is still 0-0. But I think you said it correctly there. eSuba did handle it quite nicely. It's not a common tactic we see being used on steps and open map. Doesn't really normally come down to those base races or at least caps, either from either side. But they seem to like going for it. It seems that Lucky Kuraki have found a tactic they like on it, but it doesn't always work out, obviously. However, Ents coming up next. What do you expect from these two?
Suba have been actually quite good on Ents. I've been quite impressed with their play. Lucky Kuraki, they've tried a lot of the normal tactics, hull down with the RS3s along the train road.
Yep.
So I think it's going to be a little bit more to Suba's favour, but Lucky Kuraki are just the better team.
But to me,
full stop.
It's what team of eSuba do we see today? Do we see the team that occasionally picks up a T69 when Voodoo's is playing and goes down the 6 line? They did win with it, but it's not something you can repeat. You know what I mean? If these teams do watch, obviously, the WGL EU season regularly, they'll see that being played out and go, well, there's an easy counter to this in my eyes, or this is how we can work around it. So that kind of negates those, not cheesy pushes or like the one-off strategies almost.
Yeah.
But as you said, I don't think eSuba have been bad on this map. I think they've been occasionally pretty damn comprehensive, but I'm not sure. I still think Lucky Kuraki is the better team overall here. I think they have the better, well-rounded skills, and they're always happy to kind of go for the first move as well. They're not always just going, okay, we'll play passive here and then work our way in. They're happy trying things out, but I haven't seen too much of that from eSuba. They occasionally do.
Yeah, eSuba have been the team that's actually finished games the quickest, basically lost the quickest in the last season.
Yeah.
So they've tried like the odd tactic like that and then just lost it. And Lucky Kuraki have been, as you said, more normal, I guess you could say.
Yeah, a little bit more well-rounded.
Yeah, so tank lineups, triple IS3, double AMX5100 for Lucky Kuraki, of course, tier 1s as well. Triple AMX5200, double IS3, double tier 1 as well from Suba.
Yeah. pretty much evens all around. So certainly looking forward to this one getting underway here. Your final prediction?
I think Lucky Kuraki are going to be the better team on this one.
Yeah, I tend to agree. So guys, let's get ourselves looking towards the next map, Ensk. And welcome into battle number 2. You guys at home still favouring Lucky Kuraki, but not by much. 62% there, thankfully told us by Melly. So keep those predictions coming through to us. Keep those votes coming as well, because, well, in the south in blue, it will be eSuba. Looking to prove you guys wrong off that first matchup. And in the north, obviously, to try and stop them, it's going to be Lucky Kuraki. What are we going to see from the start here?
Again, looks like eSuba, no messing about strategy in towards the city. Standing Las Coscos a little bit slow off the line, I have to say. I mean, you really want to press the W button as quickly as possible. Fluky towards the right side in the IS3 is Slavistas, of course, in that tier 1, just going to be keeping the base nice and safe. And Lucky Kuraki trying to catch the flank off, of course, McMoney and that Matt PL there, but there's nothing there for Lucky Kuraki apart from Fluky, so they're not really going to be able to do too much damage. First shell, though, second shell, Fluky goes down low.
Yeah, Bishu, McMoney and Matt in a good position here. This could start hurting eSuba if they're not careful, I feel. And they haven't committed heavily to either side, but Money and Matt, obviously in this kind of shooting position, did get that great initial damage. 774 left towards Fluky. He's got to be a little careful here.
Mirage, though, heading forwards a little bit. I'm not sure why he would try and contest Matt PL and McMoney in a position like that.
Such a great spot, you know?
Yeah, 2 tanks there, hull down. It's a perfect position for the IS3. You just don't want to go forwards. And if I was eSuba, I would just charge all 4 tanks I have in towards that position where those 2 tanks are sitting and just take them down as quickly as possible. Because Fluky has taken so much damage there, down to about half HP just after 2 shells. That's the firepower of the BL9 122mm. But Burgage and Mirage looking like they want to go forwards, and the flank needs to come out from eSuba. They need to try something like that just to keep themselves back into the race. Maybe even go for a couple of pot shots. Obviously, Steny need to join them up there. Lucky Kuraki are right now in the driving suit, so they don't really need to try anything right now. But I think as the game goes through, we'll see Lucky Kuraki head over towards the green side. I only say that because Shock and Bishu there in the IS3s and the 5100 are right in that position.
Yeah, as you said, Bishu and Shock sitting here. Fluky still getting the attention of Lucky Kuraki. He needs to be a little careful to not get caught out. Shock can generally handle himself pretty damn well in these IS3s, and he did get caught out last time by the 1390s. Nothing like that, though, on the board this time. The CNK will move in to try and get the damage done, but he has found Mirage on the cross there, so a good bit of damage done towards him as well. 1055 HP left on Mirage. Going to be backing away and forcing maybe a counter move coming out from Lucky Kuraki.
And Skos trying to line our shopper onto Kuraki in the tier 1, not finding it, and not really worth it, to be honest. Kuraki, yes, he might be important later in the game. I think eSuba has bigger trouble. Still finds him, takes him out with 1 shot, so nice little play there from eSuba, getting themselves the tier 1 advantage at least. Now they need to get more of a HP advantage. As you said, Mirage took 1, and Fluky took the couple at the beginning. Shock, next target for Los Coscos.
Yeah, Shock maybe outstaying his welcome there to try and land a couple of shells towards Stenley, and I think Shock knows it. He's been spotted, he's been tracked, gets that back up and running and trying to get the hell out of here. Couple of shells not really connecting too heavily. Shock actually staying around, he's not rotating off.
That's such terrible shooting from Los Coscos. He had 3 shells, missed all 3 of them. And that would be 900 damage. That would be 900 damage. That would be Fluky's damage just given back to them, and Los Coscos is instead going to receive 1. So that's why eSuba is not a top team, because they can't hit those shells. Whereas, when would you ever see Vorsic miss that?
Never. Let's be honest here. Vorsic, exceptional player, and as you said, it's just the player skill occasionally coming into effect. Normally it doesn't just come down to it, but obviously when it's shots like that, you got to be landing them. It's the basic 101, you know. If you're going to be in that position, you got to be ready to be able to land those shells, and just not coming into effect. Bishu still here. CNK and Shock being able to pretty much have free reign down that 6 line because, well, hardly got challenged. Finally took 1 shell down to 1202, but nothing compared to the damage that could have been done earlier on.
Stanley, Birgit and Mirage heading forwards. Los Coscos still on the flank though, so they're looking for these 2 IS3s.
This could be dangerous. Are they going to move in for it right away? Matt PL is here. It's going to be Money taking a face full of damage. Oh, he is in trouble. Going to back away as much as possible. Can he get Matt PL into the battle though? Can he stay alive long enough to create that crossfire? No, Birgit finds him first. And Matt now caught with his pants down. He is out on a limb. The other tank's not quite there yet. Shock and Kelly late to the party. CNNK won out of the tier 1 battle, but that matters nothing compared to this, as Mirage will take down Matt, and Kelly and Shock very late to this one.
They always had that option, and Bishu is going to feel the pain from that further push.
Yeah, Mirage trying to keep Shock and Kelly busy. Stenley moving in towards Bishu, and Bishu backing up in that 5100, but the IS-3 moving around. Kelly's found Birgit, but there we have it. Great work from Stenley, taking out Bishu, as now Kelly and Shock, the last two alive. Can they withstand the 3 tanks standing? They can still do this, bearing in mind.
Yeah, look how much HP they have, 1,202, and eSuba only have Stenley on 93 HP, so it's 3 versus 2, so theoretically and mathematically eSuba are still definitely in the favor, and of course they have the better positions because they still have Slavistus alive who's towards the cap, but doesn't look like he might have just by mistake exited the cap. I think. Let's pop over to him. Yes, he did. He exited the cap. You can't drive all the way back, mate. At least half your tank has to be in that for it to work. So the basic plan for an eSuba is to cut Lucky Kuraki off, say 25 seconds. If you go for that cap, we're going to cut you straight in half, and we're going to catch you very badly indeed from the side. But Lucky Kuraki still have a lot of HP to play with. My opinion would be the easy way in would be come around from this behind onto Los Coscos. He's the first target. Yes, he's got a lot of HP, but you know, with 5100, it's not too much. Fluky takes down CNNK. Great shot from him. Every
single tank now appearing though. Lucky Kuraki knows where Los Coscos is. Fluky is. They know where these guys are waiting. Stenley as well. Kelly first to really move in. Shock still waiting in the wings in that IS-3. Kelly might be the one going for that reset there, or just to try and face these guys out head to head, which would be a brave move, as you did say there are other options available, but and especially with Stenley in such a good position, obviously the IS-3, if it side scrapes its way to victory, you might be in trouble, but Kelly coming round, he takes down Slavista, the tier 1 who's getting the cap on. Shock finds Stenley. This is not going well for eSuba. Can they find those last 2 remaining tanks? Shock and Kelly now have a bit of work to do.
It's back on. Los Coscos, he's still got 6 shells in there. Shock managed to dodge that one from Fluky, and Shock also misses his one, and that's going to give Los Coscos some good shells.
Can he get them done though in time? Los Coscos looks like he's moving in for Kelly there, and actually Shock's moving in for him as well. Kelly's gone low. This is a mistake, but who's going to land the shell first here? Los Coscos on the flank, misses it. Kelly takes down Fluky, and that is the biggest flop I've ever seen in my life. Los Coscos may have just gifted Lucky Kuraki the victory, but can he pull this one out of the bag? I think Shock's hot on his heels. He knows it as well. Shock comes around on the flank, gets the first. He even misses Kelly again, and finally takes him down, but Shock is there and waiting. It's just waiting for that reload to become available, and that was atrocious play from eSuba when it matters, as Lucky Kuraki pick up the second map.
3 versus 2. We were talking about the player skill difference between Lucky Kuraki and eSuba, and it just showed 100%. We said from the beginning as well that eSuba, all they had to do was push into those 2 IS-3s that were there for too long. They did it and it worked. They were 3 versus 2. Los Coscos should have been hitting those shells. That would have been another 900 damage to his favor. It would have been a very big advantage for them. But eSuba lost it on the fact that who was it? I think it was Berg, or was it Stenny in the IS-3? He killed the tier 1. He got the 390 damage onto Fluky, who came around the corner.
Yeah.
And then not Fluky, who was it? I think it was Kelly. Kelly came around, took the tier 1 down. He got the 390 damage, and then he drove straight forwards, and Bishu was just waiting there. And then it was 2 versus 2, and Lucky Kuraki had more HP.
Yeah, and I still can't believe Los Coscos then. You can see the push-in now coming out from these guys. Kelly is the one who goes to try and deal with the cap.
Stanley's there on the right, yeah, 93 HP. And you can see this. Kelly going down to probably a one-shot for an IS-3 now is a good move from eSuba. The problem is they get too over-enthusiastic to take him down. So he takes the shell, boom, he gets taken down straight away. Stanley gets taken down by Shock, who's on the right. So perfect positional play by Lucky Kuraki, and no thinking from eSuba.
No, and the positions are, and the HP is pretty much even at that point. Let's bear that in mind. There's no massive advantage for either side. I'm just a little disappointed in Los Coscos. They're not hitting any of those shells available to him. He could have turned that one around, but it wasn't to be. So now Lucky Kuraki have the advantage. Third map now coming up, Prokhorovka. We already saw a possibility of a cap coming out from Lucky Kuraki on steps. Might they do the same here?
Yeah, the cap is like what Lucky Kuraki seems to specialize in this season.
Yep.
Maybe like another thing where teams don't really expect it. on Prokhorovka and steps, capping is very hard. So, you know, if you don't expect it, then you're going to get caught out pretty quickly. I think it might come out as well. It's worked quite a lot of times for Lucky Kuraki. Sometimes it hasn't when the team, for instance, Castle Crew, have just said, no, we know how to counter this 100%, so we're not going to allow you to do it. School Bus as well comes to mind. Dream Leprechauns also managed to stop it. They won against Lucky Kuraki in the previous matchup on this map. So eSuba can feel a little bit confident. But eSuba have been lacking so much player skill and so much ability under pressure that any kind of pressure applied by Lucky Kuraki would put them at such a great advantage that that's all they might need to win.
See, and the sad fact is, though, eSuba to this point were never a team that lacked player ability. They always did okay. It was the tactics that we questioned. When they didn't really come off, they were never quite offensive and never quite well-rounded enough to have the full picture. But their players weren't bad. But now it's a combination of both. It's a bad combination to have, and they certainly need to step it up here going into Prokhorovka, which will be the next one. Lucky Kuraki, I'm trying to think back to what was the team that went very aggressive over the 6 line, pressured them and allowed a cap to happen. I almost feel it was Lucky Kuraki. I'm not 100% sure, but I'd certainly like to look back through the VODs and double check on that one, because there was a team that went very aggressive. I think it was from the south, getting the cap on in the north.
I think TCM might have done that
It might have been TCM as well to a point.
Yeah.
And I like seeing the capping options coming into effect. I think it pushes teams quite far. It makes them play a little bit more aggressively. And, well, at the moment, you know, eSuba not being able to put it off too well, obviously, as the last map did go against them. But I'll see by the lineups. I think if Lucky Kuraki pick a heavier lineup, then I think it'll be very obviously going to go for the cap. But if they don't, if they go for a well-rounded lineup, it leaves the option open, but it won't be completely giving away the game. So I think the tank lineups are just coming through, or they're just going to be submitting them. We've seen a couple of new options coming into play again. The 416 did appear on this map recently. Didn't do gloriously, but it was still there. Any tanks you think that could appear, maybe?
It just depends what Lucky Kuraki do. Now they're at an advantage. They can kind of dictate how the game's going to be played and the matchup's going to be played. Obviously, this is the 3rd map now. Looks like they want to go offensive still. Maybe a map they're confident on. 2-0 is definitely better than 1-0. And in my opinion, 2-0 is kind of like game over for eSuba. So they're picking, so far, double AMX 3090, T69 double tier 1. We've just got to wait for Matt PL and Shock to join us. Matt PL, classically T69 players, is Shock. So triple T69, double AMX 3090, double tier 1 for Lucky Kuraki, and really the same thing from eSuba, but they've gone classically for the triple AMX 3090. That's a team that loves it. Tanks.eu, you can see pretty much the MX 3090s as their most play tank on all the players.
Well, I think the team's near on ready. So, final prediction on this one, who's going to win it?
Lucky Kuraki have been very good on this map, so for me it's them.
I tend to agree. So, I think we can turn our attention to the next map coming up, Prokhorovka. And welcome to battle number 3 here between Lucky Kuraki and eSuba. In the north, in blue, it's going to be eSuba yet to really put their stamp on the game. But in the south, in red, it's going to be Lucky Kuraki, currently with the 1 map advantage. Picked up on Ensk, maybe due to slightly lacking play from eSuba, but nevertheless, we're here on Prokhorovka. What do you think we're going to see from the start?
Pretty fast lineups from both teams. Of course, Lucky Kuraki have got better hull down, triple T69, but I don't think that's going to make much of a difference. Personally, I do prefer the triple AMX 3090. You got more damage there, and when you come down to the flank, which really does happen a lot on Prokhorovka, it's quite important that you have those triple AMX 3090s. But looks like eSuba want to go straight in the middle. The T69 is going left, and the MX 39 is going right. Of course, just basically from their spawns, as is Lucky Kuraki. We might see like a season 3 kind of style of Prokhorovka, where it all happens in the middle. It's all about how you engage and use the stones and the flanks and the bushes to the best of their ability. As Mirage trying to get a sight on McMoney Kelly being found, and really it's going to be about who can get the first few shots on the MX 39. To have good gun depression. So for me, I would definitely say Lucky Kuraki have the advantage in these positions. Yeah,
those T69s just come into their own here. Matt PL goes a little bit far forward, gets caught on the side, but Stanley and Birgit trying to even the odds from that village perspective over towards slightly to the east. Shock does get a good connection towards Birgit as Mirage backs away behind Fluky, using him almost as a complete shield, but Money and Kelly from the side getting great work down towards Birgit. Are they going to make a push out of this? It might be reload time very soon, though. Mirage bravely moving across. He needs to be careful. They're trying to bait out the shots, and Bishu takes him up on that one. Gets a shot towards Fluky. Birgit now as low as Mirage, and look at the HP difference here. eSuba has been ruined.
Kelly managing to miss that one, though. Birgit's still alive. 5 combat tanks still in the game for eSuba, just by the skin of their teeth, and all that Lucky Kuraki has to do is go forwards. Matt Pill takes a little bit more damage. Kelly and McMoney, they're the 2 players that need to go forwards, and they're reloading.
Yeah, McMoney here waiting probably for reload to come up and available. He is waiting for this one. Bishu and Shock starting to move in first as Bishu does find Birgit. Shock finds Mirage. This is all going Lucky Kuraki's way and lost Koskos. 3 tanks. It takes 1 to take him down. Shock will claim it. And now McMoney on the hunt. He knows Stenley's here and he wants to claim that for himself. Stenley is lower than McMoney, so 1v1. He should pick this up. He finds his first. Second comes back in. He even gets the second now. Can he get this out one himself? He's got Bishu coming in support. He's so brave. He's just got sheer confidence to take Stenley down. And hell, he's going to claim it. McMoney claims the kill there. And this is a one-sided game so far.
Fluky just trying to run up towards the 1-2-3 line, and yeah, it's one-sided to say the very least. You could kind of predict at the beginning because of eSuba's like passive, yet what they should have been is aggressive style. You know, the 3 T69s is never a good idea to engage them in that situation. It was pretty much a done deal from there on out. Lucky Kuraki just need to find Slavissa's Fluky and take them down. As this game is pretty much over, bringing the scoreline up to 2-0. Shock does take a bit of damage though, but still 5 tanks alive for Lucky Kuraki that can do damage.
Yeah, Fluky would have to pull off something phenomenal here. He's been spotted and he goes down. The last man alive is KKT Gambo, who's going to have to stay alive for 7 minutes and 12 seconds, reset a couple of caps, and do something a little bit too impressive, I feel. You can see him there trying to make his way across the map. And, well, at the moment, every single tank can pretty much sit in that cap circle if they want to for Lucky Kuraki.
Yeah, KKT
Not
Gamma.
losing a single player either.
Nope, no, not at all. It does really show Lucky Kuraki's best card. You know, they really like to counter-pick other teams. They know exactly what to do, and on steps it didn't work out so much, but it certainly worked here. The 3 T69s, they called eSuba's bluff, they went into the middle, and you can't compete those 3 T69s in the middle area. eSuba should have just gone full-on aggressive over the central area and just focus one T69 down as quickly as possible. You have the 6 shells to play with, you have more than the T69 and more damage, but they didn't. They stayed back, and now it's going to be game over as the cap is pretty much done. Yeah,
Lucky Kuraki there, playing it smart, and a couple moving out of the cap circle just to make it hurt even more. But regardless of that, it will be a victory for Lucky Kuraki there. Those T69s truly coming into effect, especially in that position. We saw it throughout Season 3, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
And that's a reason why we always see all those T69s in play. They just have such an advantage in that spot, being able to shoot up and over that deflate slightly, and 3090 struggling. And let's have a little look back towards that one and see exactly how it went down. Just look at the amount of damage that came down initially.
See, at this point, the MX-39s are in a good position. They should just drive straight over the hill. This is where they lost it. Drive straight over the hill. You have about 5 seconds to wait until you have reload, and then just focus on T69 down. But look at Bishu, Matpiel, and Shock. They can just sit there. They can just pick Mirage apart, Los Koskos apart, and the T69s, they just have that ability to just go hull down and pummel you, and then reload very quickly, only 25 seconds. Indeed, Shock, Bishu being one of the 2 highest damage dealers, only McMoney doing a little bit of damage at the end, but overall the T69 is just doing a fantastic job, and then allowing the MX-39s to come over and finish it all off for them.
Yeah, you can see the damage being done to the damage received already in the HP bars on the side, and you know, Los Koskos and co, they literally have nothing they can do. You can see the shells literally hitting the side of the hill. You can't make it happen at this point. Kelly could have had some damage done there from Bergie in the T69, but having the T69s off to this side rather than in the central was even a mistake to itself. I feel they could have done maybe a little bit more work, but at the end of the day, Lucky Kuraki, substantially better lineup, positioned far better. That's what we expected to see. You know, simple as that. If they're going to go for that Season 3 style, they've got to use those T69s correctly and use even the 3090s correctly. There's a reason we saw it, you know, constantly being played out like that. It's because it works. So, next map coming up, Himmelsdorf. Chance for eSuba, or is this pretty much game over now?
I think it's game over. I've liked eSuba on Himmelsdorf before. They've been good. They've challenged the likes of Kaznakru and Wusa and all those guys, but Lucky Kuraki have just been solid down to the T. what can we say about Lucky Kuraki? They have consistency. They just lack in some tactics and a little bit wayward with some of their thinking. But generally a very good team in terms of the player skill, which is really what you need on Himmelsdorf. So I think this is going to be brought to a 3-0. And looking at the points for the overall season, it's going to bring them up to 13. So going to be moving C-Play down to 7th and TCM down to 6th. That's going to put more pressure onto them in general. But here and now, definitely Lucky Kuraki are the better team.
I completely agree. They played very well throughout this play day. Maybe not to the extent that the last 2 games have gone. But there's a reason these two are closer to the bottom than the top, let's be honest here. Lucky Kuraki can occasionally turn up against, let's say, better teams as well. When they play against the top 5, they always seem to do quite well. But on a more even skill, they don't necessarily have that complete factor. I don't know what changes really for them, but nevertheless, we will be seeing them picking up their tanks. And they seem to no surprises really just as of yet.
No, triple AMX 5100, double IS3, double tier 1 for Lucky Kuraki, as we would expect. Lucky Kuraki have sometimes changed a few things around, but looking like they want to go pretty classic in this one. And eSuba have also picked, before in the past, the AMX 5100 ×4, so whether they're going to pick that one up, we have to see. But for now, it's 3 of them, along with 1 IS3, and Stanley, who usually plays an IS3, we're waiting for to come in towards this game. So he's going to pick an IS3 as well. Double IS3, triple AMX 5100. Lucky Kuraki from the south, eSuba from the north. So they're definitely going back to their roots a little bit more. But, Lucky Kuraki, they like to play this lineup. eSuba in the past have played 4 AMX 5100, so they may be not so used to 3.
We'll see if that's going to hurt them or maybe finally give them a bit of an edge here. There's certainly a chance that it could help them out a little bit. They're playing a more well-rounded lineup, but it's the last chance now. Obviously, Lucky Kuraki on match point, 1 more map, and they've done the job. Whether or not they can do it here, different question. Himmelsdorf, very different beast than the last maps we've seen, but I think the teams are ready. Let's get ourselves looking towards what could be the final map here, Himmelsdorf. And welcome to battle number 4. We are here on Winter Himmelsdorf, and in the north in blue it's going to be eSuba. In the south in red it's Lucky Kuraki, currently sitting on match point. And let's see who has the advantage from the very start now. What are we going to be seeing from eSuba? Are they going for anything different, or is this, the usual start?
Well, eSuba can only draw it out with the 1 point, and that would still keep them at the bottom of this table. Lucky Kuraki still have a little bit of a fighting chance to get in towards the finals of Season 4. So Mirage, Fluky, Stenley, Los Koskos, Birgit heading over towards the right. This could be Lucky Kuraki's biggest game of their careers, as Kelly, CNN, Matt PL, McMoney, Shock, and Bishu all towards the hillside. Only 1 tier 1 over towards the left, and that's going to be Slavista. So a lot of tanks into one location. Lucky Kuraki classically looking towards the hill.
Yeah, Kelly not joining them just yet. Bishu also down the bottom here, and I'm not sure what they're expecting from eSuba. Maybe a push up that 8 line. It looks like they're trying to counter it in case, but Money is there in the IS3, and Stealth Shock in the IS3 as well will be sitting up towards the center. So interesting start from these two. Not seeing the full commitment towards the hill. Might be a later bit of an evolution to this tactic coming out from Lucky Kuraki. They do have the players certainly near it, but not putting Kelly and Bishu up there. Why is this? Is this them expecting the 8 line push?
I'm not sure. You can see a lot of shells from Stenny and Fluky heading towards them. And I would really be saying, okay, so if there's a big old 122mm shell coming flying over towards me, let's try and react that. And looking towards the 8 line is not the good thing for them, because, when you have big shells heading towards your way, the 8 line push isn't an option, because the 8 line push requires all your resources. You can't just be half and half on that push. You have to commit everything. So Lucky Kuraki just sitting back and looking like they want to play the defensive game in general, knowing that they really have to, or they only really have to draw this one out to actually win the whole matchup. Best of 5, 2 maps now to the good. battle number 4. If it's a draw, we'll go battle number 5. Best scoreline eSuba could hope for is the 2-1 scoreline. So still would be a win for Lucky Kuraki, the Polish team. That's why they're playing a little bit more safe. But if I was them, they've been a dominant team, I would just go for the win.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I'm surprised we're not seeing Lucky Kuraki being a little bit more forceful, but it looks like they're trying to get themselves over towards the west side of the map here, get those tanks through. Matt PL and Shock moving over, and it does look they might catch people out, but I like this split from eSuba. If they can withhold on that west flank, they could certainly cause a bit of trouble here.
Certainly. Now peeking around is going to find Bishu. 2 tanks in reply. Stanley has to try and get out of there. Takes a bit of damage, but also does a bit of his own. And the middle tanks for eSuba are going to be the real play from them.
Oh, and look at this play. This is nice stuff from eSuba. 3 against 1, but Money going to be caught out there, backing away, and they're going to try and focus down the 2 tanks over towards the west. They need to overmatch him, but Money needs to stay alive. They must get these down pretty damn fast. Bishu's done the job. They're focusing on towards Mirage now. He must fall quickly. Money's now being focused by Fluky, and this is not a quick job. It's not a pretty job, and actually Mirage finds Bishu on the way out. This is not what they expected, and Shock must land this shell now, but Money's still alive somehow. He's in a 2v1. Fluky's going to punish him. Finally, Shock gets the shell, but this is not a nice sight from Lucky Kuraki.
Los Coscos really with a lot of HP, and it's Lucky Kuraki need to get themselves into one location, defend it, and attack.
Yeah, Birgit though on the flank round the back has found Kelly, going to do the damage. Fluky now might split off as well. Find Matt, and this is a nice play from eSuba. Very well rounded. Finally getting the execution, and they deserve this hands down. Cap even started for them. Shock now, the last man alive. Beautifully done from eSuba. I gotta give it credit where it's due, but also slight mistakes from Lucky Kuraki may have cost them this one. Shock can take down Birgit, but Fluky is there waiting in the wings, and the cap will even be stopped if it comes into effect.
Yeah, that's 1 tank goes down. 2 tanks left for Lucky Kuraki, and a lot more left for eSuba, double of them, and also Los Coscos still has a lot of HP to play with. But Shock is still pretty healthy, so it could actually still be a chance for Lucky Kuraki as Fluky just keep the pressure on the cap as Slavis is in there. But Shock is going to come around and reset this, but Fluky finds him from the side. Yeah,
Fluky 377 damage done. Shock comes through, finds him in the tier 1, but he doesn't get any following shells from Fluky, so now Shock has to be a little careful. Los Coscos moving in. Let's see if he can land it this time. Here we go. 2v1 situation kicks into effect. Shock gets the first replies with 1. He is going to be in trouble here, though. Outmatched, outnumbered, and outgunned. Fluky does do the job, but CNNK on the run. He doesn't have the time, really, for this one. The cap will be underway. 37 seconds. I don't think he can do much here.
No, it's game over. As you said, cap underway. 2 tanks in there, so 30 seconds left on that. eSuba, I'm not going to try and challenge CNNK. If they do, it'll be kind of pointless. They got 5 minutes left. If CNNK just peaks, they'll just take him down immediately or put KKT Gambo on towards the job. So game over. Lucky Kuraki going down at least 1 map to eSuba, and still a chance for them to actually even this one all out. As I said, with the 1 point's not enough for eSuba to get off that bottom place, as Woosh has won a couple of games already, and a draw won't be enough. But still, an impressive display of tanks from them all around.
Yeah, I like that play from eSuba. Well done through and through. They did a nice little split down that kind of 1 to 3 line. I just like the way they played it out. It was very smartly done. Simple, yet pretty much very effective. I don't think we can say much more than that.
I mean, from the north, eSuba have actually done that quite a lot. They've gone over towards the right side. But I said before, the reason why they've lost that in the past is because they haven't focused enough on towards the middle. You could see the difference that middle presence really gave them. We can have a look back how the engagement went down for eSuba, and I think it was more of their individual play. Kelly and Bishu did such a good job to keep Stelling at bay, but Matt PL and Shock getting caught out from the side as Mirage did such a great job. Los Coscos, Birgit and Fluky, once they got into the game, they could surround Matt PL and Shock, and it was a very easy job from them because Mirage stayed alive for so long.
Yeah, if you could see the likes of Shock, Matt, Bishu, Kelly, if they took down Mirage faster, if they were able to focus them down quicker, then they could have turned around, helped out McMoney, get set up to wait for the other 3 moving in. But by this point, Mirage still alive, Cap starting. It's allowed Los Coscos. There you go.
And then Birgit can come from behind and really take down. I think he goes for Kelly here.
Yeah, I think so. Or maybe Shock first. But regardless of who went down, it's just they got outplayed. eSuba just did the job. 3 tanks split through the middle. 2 down towards the 1 of 3 line. Job done.
Yep.
Simple as that. You know, basic tanks, it works sometimes. And finally we're seeing that coming out from eSuba, and they needed that, to be completely honest. And we will be going to the final map now. It's going to be Ruinberg. Both teams competent on this. Looking forward to seeing what they can bring, though. Last round, we've seen very passive play from the South. I'm curious to see who's starting in the South.
It's going to be eSuba.
Okay, so they can't really camp it out.
So Lucky Kuraki can't camp this one. Obviously, if they were starting from the South, they would just sit there with 5 IS3s and just draw it out. But they can't do that this time, so eSuba still in with the runnings. And that coordination would have given them a little bit of confidence. And to be honest, I really do like playing Ruinberg from the North. From the South. So I think it's going to be an interesting matchup. 1 point apiece would be good for eSuba's confidence, but still they would be knocked out. We've only got one more match day after Thursday, and then we obviously will be heading towards the season finals very, very shortly. But Lucky Kuraki, as I said before, still in with a chance to win this one. They have to take this game, though. If they don't take this, they can't actually get into the top 6 for the finals.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see Lucky Kuraki, now having to actually go for the victory. We see them being so passive in the South and Ruinberg. It's going to be interesting to see them actually having to push for the win. And I'll be interested to see what eSuba can do to turn it around, because they've had cohesion problems. Ruinberg can come into a really specific bracket of how you need to be cohesive as a team. So, what sort of play are we going to see? We're going to see it towards the city, the village, central line. Where do you think we're going to see this?
I think we'll see it towards the village. What Lucky Kuraki has done a lot of times is actually play in towards the city first and then split off some tanks towards the village, basically distract the team and then come in towards the cat with their tier 1s. And often they actually win that village engagement because of the kind of strike force ability you have there. But it's going to be hard for them because they are playing from the north, which is not a side they would typically pick. Their lineup is double AMX 5100, double AMX 5100, double IS3, T32.
T32.
So not really a tank we've seen a lot of. So the only reason you pick a T32 is because it's hull down ability. Simple as that. 298 millimeters of mantlet armor just to stop any kind of shells coming towards you. And from eSuba, double 5100, double IS3, T32, double tier 1. So 2 very heavy lineups. Surprisingly, also the same lineups.
Yeah, both picking up the
and
T32.
And they're blind picks as well. Remember, these are blind picks.
So yeah, interesting stuff. Mirror matchup, basically. I'm not sure what to expect here. Very interesting to see the T32 in play. It's not something we regularly see coming out on Ruinberg. It's not that it doesn't have its place. It's just, there's maybe better tanks towards normal tactics. But both teams picking up. What do you think that's going to come down to? Where is this going to really go to the village now, or?
Maybe not, actually. I think it might go towards the city. Those tanks are slow as hell to get in towards the village. The T32, I kind of feel like the T32 will be out on its own kind of solo playing because it doesn't really fit in with the rest of the tanks and generally the map. It might be a very slow one, and Lucky Kuraki with such a heavy lineup might still be able to draw it out from the north, so that could be interesting as well.
Well, we're going to find out. Everything is now open. eSuba need to take this game. So Lucky Kuraki if they want to pick up the victory. So guys, let's get ready for the final map here. Ruinberg. And welcome into battle number 5. We are here on Ruinberg, the deciding map between Lucky Kuraki and eSuba. And in the south, in red, it's going to be Lucky Kuraki, currently with 2 maps to the 1 from eSuba's.
Oh my bad, they are starting from the north, from the south, yeah.
Oh, Lucky
I thought it was,
Kuraki.
I forgot Ruinberg is different.
Oh, Lucky Kuraki. We know what's going to happen. Da 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 da.
Pro.
Let's just see. Let's see. Let's
so
just
yeah, we
wait.
know why they picked the T32 because they can just sit hull down. Yeah.
All right, we're just going to chill out and leave these guys for a while because it's going to take not only a little bit of time for eSuba to get there, but Lucky Kuraki ain't moving.
No, they're not going to move at all. The T32 is going to go hull down. Just have a little look at who's playing that. It's Matt PL. So he's going to sit down here and basically be the first front line of defense against eSuba. And unless Lucky Kuraki really screw up the defense, there's really no way eSuba can win this one. Good play once again. Lucky Kuraki, they nail the tank lineups and they nail the
map choices.
The map choices.
Yep.
So picking up from the south, in that 5th map, they can guarantee themselves a draw, and they can think, okay, we got a couple of special tactics on the maps beforehand, so we might win them. We probably will win them. And now eSuba really are stuck for answers. I think it's a kind of a shame, because I think eSuba played very well on Himmelsdorf at least. And Lucky Kuraki, they've been good, but also a little bit shaky in some spots. And I think I really do enjoy when a team plays the tanks very well. In their pure essence, which is focus fire and blocking and all those good things.
So, take me through the options of maybe a cap. So, let's say this, pretty much rolling into this is near on death. Let's be honest here. How could they go about a cap, maybe? If that's the other option for eSuba, let's say they fancied their chances there. Is there any positioning they could get into that would allow for it?
So, you just there's a kind of a tree up towards the right. You can put a tier 1 in there, put a 5100 in front of it, go for the cap 100%, and then put all 6 other tanks around the side and come in actually from the normal attack position. So you start the cap first, you turn the turrets for Lucky Kuraki towards the cap, and the tanks start heading over towards the cap, and then you come from the side. But it's very hard because Kelly in the IS3, I believe, in the MX 5100 is definitely going to be able to kill your 5100 first, and then he can simply go around, kill the tier 1, and it's game over, because your defensive tanks will still be able to win against the pushing tanks in towards your cap.
So, literally very few options here. We're going to see if anyone can break it. eSuba may be able to. Kuraki a little further forward there. Fluky just waiting. And you can see eSuba trying to make their move, but we know the situation. We've seen it before. It's going to be a tough one.
Fluky trying to hit a couple of shells of McMoney. Might be able to land one. McMoney in the IS3, you can obviously hit the top part here, but he's definitely in a more vulnerable position, so I'd expect McMoney, the best player from Lucky Kuraki, to win that one out. Pure and simple. KKT Gambo Slavistas heading up towards the cap slowly but surely, but Kelly, remember, is just in this place here, so they'll be game over very quickly and maybe not even get spotted because the tier 1 lacks in view range, about 300 meters on that one. So dire times for that team. Some brilliant high explosive shells probably will be able to take down Kuraki there. So at least for the tier 1's perspective, they will go down. But again, not big difference, as those tier 1s are not actually doing something in this defensive position.
Yeah, they're just pretty much there for the sake of numbers. So Kuraki does go down, but they do get a shell on towards Fluky, but good damage comes back in towards Money. He gets a little bit of damage done towards him. He's down to 1, 2, 3, 6, but not substantial enough. But Los Coscos trying to make a move in. Let's bear in mind there's a lot of players left alive here. Can they do anything?
Well, they're winning so far, to be honest. But it's not really about winning up to any point when you're defending like this. It's winning in the actual execution and when you actually push in. You know, you can take the tier 1s down, you can win a couple of shells, but when you push in, will you actually win? I don't think so. Kelly also taking down Slavistas. Another hard call there for eSuba, stopping their capping ability so much. When the engagement does come from eSuba, they want to also put the pressure on in the cap, and 2 is a lot better than 1 in that situation. So 5 minutes and 24 seconds left, and with that tier 1 going down, it's looking like dire straits for eSuba, but eventually they'll push. They just need to find the right time and the right place.
Yeah, and Shulk's actually moved around in the IS3, so got into a little bit more of an offensive position, not watching the push from the right side of the church, but still, he's got a good little spot. He can always back out there in the IS3. So Los Coscos and Fluky consistently being spotted out there by Matt, and as you said, it's pretty much a matter of time now. Maybe eSuba trying to exploit a lack of patience. If that's even going to be a factor here, I don't think it really is. These guys look like they're happy sitting this one out. Matt PL obviously just waiting for these guys to move around, and at the end of the day, 4 minutes left.
I think we might see this actual plan I had. Mirage is going to head down. KKT Gamma is going to go towards the cap at the same time as Mirage. KKT Gamma is going to go here. Mirage is going to go in front.
To get a shell.
And they're going to go for the cap, and they've won a couple of exchanges now. 3 tanks from Lucky Kuraki are down a shell, only 2 for eSuba, and they've still got tier 1 left. So looking good. Another shell, big shells coming onto Matt PL.
Yeah, Matt is actually really in trouble here. He's taken a lot of damage, down to 277. Maybe eSuba's worked this one out. Let's not count the chickens before they've hatched yet. And well, Los Coscos does find Matt PL. Beautifully done there. But can they find the final execution? Still brilliant defensive positions in place for Lucky Kuraki. Kelly down to around half HP though. eSuba with the numbers.
Brilliant play there. They saw Matt PL's weakness. It's of course his commander's hatch. That's where you usually have an IS-3 there, and they just destroyed that commander's hatch. And look at that, Kelly also going pretty low via Mirage. KKT Gambo going in. Bad times for Lucky Kuraki as eSuba crumbles on them.
Well, let's see if they can keep this one up though. Kelly is still there, 413 HP. Los Coscos looking for a way through. 3 tanks waiting to defend. KKT Gambo moving up, very close range position in there, probably to keep eyes on Kelly as Shock receives a shell, and eSuba slowly but surely are working these guys down. 3 minutes and 18 seconds though. They're gonna have to make that move soon to fully secure this matchup. Bishu still healthy, but Money and Shock still okay as well. Kelly really the only lower factor. Still a very strong position for Lucky Kuraki.
Mirage is just actually reloaded, so this is do or die down for eSuba. He's come off reload, he needs to go forwards. His first choice of target would of course be Kelly, quite low on the AMX 5100. He won the first engagement, he just needs to carry on going forwards. 2 minutes and 50 seconds left. A little bit of time still for eSuba, but not a lot for them to play with. The Mirage takes a shell.
Yeah, this is still the danger, bearing in mind still great defensive spots here, and it looks like Fluky, Stenley, Los Coscos moving in. Shock and Money waiting. Shock takes 1. Kelly still focused towards the cap. Birgit from the side, nice position from Birgit, gets a lot of damage towards Shock, takes his attention away, frees up the targets towards Money and Bishu. Here we go, fire comes through, great position from Stenley, finding Shock there on the slight push from the side. Bishu low, they want to take down Shock, gun out of the game, but more damage coming in. This is great play, but Shock finds Fluky. Can they finally secure this game? KKT Gambo moves across, Stenley finds Shock. Brilliant stuff from eSuba, 3 tanks now remaining, 2 minutes left. McMoney finds Birgit, cross shot from Kelly, finds Mirage, moving in towards McMoney. Can McMoney withstand? I don't think he can. Mirage is there, looking for 2. He's got 2 towards him, Bishu and McMoney focusing him down. Mirage takes down McMoney, Bishu and Kelly, the last 2 alive. Finally, we might have seen this tactic being broken, and can you believe it? eSuba in the final map, undoing those defensive tactics that consistently win the games. And Lucky Kuraki...
Doesn't it just put a smile on your face when that doesn't work out?
Ding! Lucky Kuraki, you just got called out on being defensive. We saw pretty much the perfect play day as to why teams should not be that passive.
Yeah.
1, denial. Played passively sometimes, didn't really work out for them. They moan and they complain when you know they feel the ones being offensive. Sometimes they just don't have the cohesion to pull it off. School Bus showed them how it was done. Second game, Kazna up against Virtus Pro. Virtus Pro literally showed us how to play Quake in World of Tanks by just rushing forward and being ridiculous. Let's be serious here. These guys just went insane.
Yeah. It's like they respawned like on the other side of the map.
just did their own thing. You know what I mean? They just went crazy. And then the final game, Lucky Kuraki played the maps out for that final map to play passively. eSuba went, all right, guys, we knew this was going to happen. It's Lucky Kuraki. They do it every time. Spend the time working it out, and they did it perfectly. Credit where it's due. Teams that play offensively, teams that go for the victory rather than the draw on maps, just bring it home. So let's have a little look back at Matt PL's positioning and just see exactly what happened there, because that was a big key factor in that one.
He was the T32 that kept eSuba on their toes consistency. First couple of shells come over from the right, Fluky, Los Coscos. They look at this range quite easy to hit the commander's copy. So they look for it, they find it. First shell bounces. I think Los Coscos has another go. Yes, he does. So from that angle, they can consistently hit Matt PL. He should have reversed. You should have got out of there.
Panic mode, surely. If they're able to damage him, you've got to think of adapting. It looks like Los Coscos going back
Shock
in.
just couldn't do anything in that situation. Consistent damage. Look at it going onto Matt PL.
And he's still not backing out. He's not even considering getting away from this. I'm not sure if that's a mistake from him. Maybe a little bit too confident in this defense. You know, after the first shell connects, and you're seeing that Shock can't do anything.
That's a winning move right there for eSuba.
They should have adapted. They seemed so cocksured in this defense.
Yeah.
I think it was a mistake for them to even stick him out there in the first place. Normally we see an IS-3 in that position, if I'm not mistaken. And generally, I think it may have been played a little better there.
And I have to say as well, Stanley picking up in the T32, I believe he was playing, he had a 90mm on there instead of the 105, so he had an insane reload. Yes, it only does about 200 damage per shot, but you could see how much he could just pummel through those hull down positions. Just consistent damage over and over and over and over again in the perfect place where he couldn't take damage himself. So actually, I think he might have also been the second factor for eSuba. And generally looking back at that, Lucky Kuraki lost on Himmelsdorf because they were playing defensive. They knew they were up one map, played out in towards their base. You saw them protecting the 8 line. And then eSuba just took it. And then on Ruenberg playing defensively again with the IS-3s, managed to take down Matt PL. Again, Lucky Kuraki losing when they played defensively. the only time Lucky Kuraki won it was when they went forwards and they put the aggression on. For instance, Ensk and Prokhorovka, of course, as well. So, guys, we saw 2 games today where teams that are offensive actually won it out. Altogether, just great stuff from eSuba. And Lucky Kuraki, that's really put a big dent on your chance to qualify for the Season 4 finals, not even picking up the win.
And I hate to say it, it kind of... You kind of deserve to lose it if you're only playing out for... You win one map and you draw the rest.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, but if you're not willing to go for the victory, that's what can happen. And Melly, did anyone at home predict that? Because that was quite a tough game to call.
Indeed. Well, if we have a look on the vote results, it still says 72% for whom, actually? Of course, for Lucky Kuraki. And if we have a look on the vote, on the results... Well, I scrolled through them earlier and I didn't see a draw. But I saw someone tweeting on Twitter, obviously.
Really? That's how it works.
That she voted for a draw and she's hoping that this will actually happen. I was like, oh, I don't think so. But I was wrong again. I will
we shouldn't
never
predict
say
things.
anything again. No, Well, you have a counterpart. You do. Every time you say the opposite of Ollie.
Don't
and I need a
man.
co-social media host.
Yeah?
Just
we'll
have
get
someone
Sean Charles down. You two host noise
Sean
together.
Charles can be underneath the desk.
Awesome.
Whoa.
He will say
Whoa.
he'll predict for he will vote for one team and I will just pick the other, and sometimes maybe I'll get right too. But you guys at home, well, I definitely will find someone who gets the bonus codes. If not, I will just give them out for the closest vote. I don't know what to do then, actually. This never happened. I was never in the position of not having a winner.
Winner?
Winner.
Okay. You haven't had a winner yet. I've had a winner.
I bet you did.
A schnitzel. A winner schnitzel. It's a winner. It's pretty funny though.
Ollie, you can barely speak English. Let's not start. You're from
don't
the
even
West
try
Country.
German.
Come on now.
No.
But your German is good.
Should we,
always
Let's not have a German lesson right now.
It always makes the
How's
girl
Paul Shannon's German lessons coming on?
At the supermarket at the registry blushing. It's always so sweet when he's trying to speak German and the girl's like, he's so cute. I want to pinch his cheek.
She didn't actually say that though.
But he looked like that. She looked like that.
God damn it.
Did you say I'm from One Direction?
No.
Do you like British boys? Did that happen at all?
No, it doesn't happen actually, surprisingly enough.
Never
happens.
Never.
Never use that line.
He's
man.
always like, ja, danke schön.
Sorry, I'm polite.
No, it's fine.
It's very
fine.
cute.
I'm not making fun of you. I'm laughing with you.
Ein Kirsch, bitte.
That's the one line he needs to know.
Großes, kleines, großes. Done.
Melly, how can
Sorted.
people at home get involved anyway? If they do want to keep up with all the World Tanks action from the WGL EU.
Well, the easiest way is, of course, our social media platforms on Facebook and Twitter, which are at WGLEU and facebook.com/WGLEU. And of course, follow us on Twitter. We do have a YouTube channel as well where we upload all the VODs. So head over there as well, youtube.com/WGLEU. It's always the same since Ollie always have a hard time remembering things. So we made it like...
Me?
No, another Ollie. We have so many of them.
I'm the best though.
Yeah, of course you are. Well, people, that's how you can get involved. Head over to Twitter, tweet us everything what's on your mind. If you like the match day, tell us. We love hearing feedback from you. If you liked our studio, tell us as well. If you don't like Ollie, tell us too. So
that'd be a pretty decisive response, though.
Ha ha. So funny. Everyone's so funny here.
It's pretty easy.
You should go on. You should do stand up. I'm seriously, guys. You should do stand up.
I'm tempted.
Just get on the desk and just start making jokes.
Well, we're not joking.
Serious as well. Carry on.
Yeah, that's pretty much all. That's what I had to say. Follow us on Twitch. It's very important since you get a notification as soon as we're going live. You get an email. And yes, this is how you can get involved. Also, follow They Call Me Pansy on Twitter and at LaughterWOT and maybe at Melly with a 3 if it's not too hard.
Should see a number plate right now, you know. She's got
She'll
1337
tweet
on the
out
number
a
plate.
She'll
Don't
tweet
tell
out a
my
picture
number
later,
plate.
right?
No, I won't. Tweet
Yeah, you will. Yeah, you will.
No.
Come on, half of it.
That's my license
Just
plate.
half of it.
People are invited to come to the studios and see themselves.
Just to go to the car park. Hey guys, come to
Wanna
your
see
turn.
my-
You can
do you wanna
usually-
see my number plate, love?
Usually when we have events here in the studio, I park in front of the house. So, 2 flies with 1 clap. I like
Two birds with 1 stone, aka two
I
flies with 1
like-
clap.
I like translating German sayings into English word to word. It's funny.
To be fair, it works.
always confuses Ollie. Well, it's pretty easy
New
to
phrases.
confuse him, but yeah.
Right, the burns aside, because this is going too far. I need to keep you two away from each other. We're gonna have to get the special people in to keep them, held back. That's pretty much how it works after the show's over. But still, we've had a great play day today. Fantastic results from the very start to the very end, showing that if you play a little bit more aggressive and play for the wins, you generally get them. But still, if you like today's play day, make sure you tune in on Thursday, the 24th of July for the next one. Obviously, in this play week, we'll be seeing the likes of the Drooling Leprechauns, we'll be seeing C-Play, EPS, and the great TCM all going into action. So, as Melly said, make sure you follow on Facebook and Twitter, obviously the WGL EU, following those URLs, and on Twitch TV just down below, because we'll be going live at around the same time, 7 CEST, on a Thursday. So make sure you're there. We will be. Hope to see you soon.